Hi, and welcome to the RCN Rocket Chief. Today we'll be flying this model, the Black Brant 3. It's actually homemade, but it's a clone of a very famous model rocket and of a sounding rocket made by Canada, so I should have had one long ago. We'll be setting it up on a C65 because it's basically just a spear, and it should get some serious height. So please like and subscribe to see more of this, and maybe you'll help the old chief get a little bit of ad revenue from YouTube so that I can actually buy this kit as opposed to having to make it into spare parts. Thanks a lot.
We have a launch light, so in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch. Well, it's certainly weathercocked, and there it goes, and I can't see a thing. It has a long delay on it, so hopefully we'll see something. I see a bit of a glint over this way, but I don't see a thing. That took off and it went away. Nothing. So here we are, again, Black Brant 3 clone on a C67. About 10 km/h winds. Hopefully, this time we have a green light, so hopefully this time we'll get it back on its about a 3-foot long streamer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch. Nice flight, a little bit of spinning. We'll see the deployment. There she comes down now. Long delay. There's the streamer. You can see it. Hopefully you can see it. And it's going to come down outside the confines of the field, but in a recoverable area, I do believe. Nice flight. Actually came down right in the baseball field. Nice flight. So here's how I found our Black Brant with that nose cone buried in quite deeply, and a few neat shots from our cube cam mounted pretty much directly under the rocket to give us a pretty spectacular view of the liftoff. And then how we put it together with the BNC plastic nose cone kit that Estes sells. You will always get a Black Brant style nose cone with the nozzle, so that's pretty spiffy, and a good thing I had two. Rolled our own body tubes with 11-inch paper. Had to make two, and then a coupler to put it all together, and the usual, some fins out of cardboard. Found a better way to make the coupler later, but by trimming it off better, and also used the end of a spent D engine because I was going to use 18mm and 24mm engines in this rocket. So I wanted the ability to use both by using our little conversion tool. And I'll leave a link down on the doobly-doo and maybe here on the screen if I figure out how to make our little conversion kit from 18 to 24mm motors. But put that all together here. And like I said, trimming off the coupler would have made it a little neater, but it worked fine for both the kits that we built, so not really the end of the world. And as I said, you end up with more or less a spear with... here I'm putting in the block for the D tile, the 24mm style motor, with our nozzle mounted on the end of that, and then we can put the 18mm motor in that mount, so we can launch it on the C, which we've done, or we could do it with a D, which we'll do at some point in the future. And the hero shot, and I had to do some Play-Doh in the nose cone to get proper balance for the rocket so it would fly straight. Thanks a lot.
Hi, and welcome to the RCN Rocket Chief. You're about to watch a compilation of a launch we had a few weeks ago. We sent a bunch up. We got most of them back. Some stayed in trees around our launch field, but the family did have a lot of fun, and I hope you will too watching it. So please like and subscribe. Thank you.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch. Nice
parachute. Nice flight. Almost right back on the deck of the carrier.
Neat.
Definitely Jill's favorite part.
This is the Condor. It's an Estes kit. It's got 2 gliders and a main body, so it will come back in 3 different pieces with 2 of them gliding. It's going to go up on an AA3 while we try the test first. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch.
Oh, look at that.
Engine wasn't powerful enough. There comes one, and there goes the other one.
That one almost caught me in the head.
This is the Estes multi-rock. It's a 2-stage rocket with a payload section. Inside the payload section is a Harry Potter figurine, so he's about to become the first member of Hogwarts to go into space. It'll be going up on a C60 and a B44. We have a light. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch. Well, that's the first stage. I heard it pop. The first stage went over there somewhere. He's Kit Goliath. It'll be going up on an AA3 as we're just testing it against the wind. So we're expecting a fun flight. It's got a large parachute in it. I believe it's a 12 or a 14 inch. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch. Nice.
Cool.
This is the Astro Cam from Estes. This is a camera pointed back over the back of the rocket. This is with a B64 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch. Holy smokes. Nice.
Wow.
Nice shot. Parachute didn't deploy, but it is dragging. This is a home-built rocket, complete with a self-rolled tube. I had a, looks like I have a bad batch of AA3, so we're going to try this on a B64 and parachute recovery. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, nice. My parachutes aren't deploying, but everything else is working well.
Neat.
Of course, the gliders, the Condor, this time with a more powerful engine, B64. So an A is, say, a strength, has a strength, and then the next one up, B, was twice as strong, so it should go twice as high. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slick, worked perfect. And it is going way downrange.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Yeah, the two of them are still up. Wow.
Okay, one of them might have went on the trail. That other one is.
The other one disappeared into the fog.
I think they're in the parking lot.
Yeah. This is Big Bertha. We're going to send it up on a B64 with a 12-inch or 31-centimeter parachute. We're hoping for 500 feet. We're also going to send a passenger up. Okay, we're going to put Parachute Panda in. Good trip, little Parachute Panda. Now we're going to set him up for a launch.
Radio silence, please.
Okay, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch. Nice shoot. We should see 2. There goes Parachute Panda. There goes the rocket. Both are coming down. Bunch of wadding as well. Just about perfect. It's going to land right back, almost right on the pad. Nice shot. Nice shot. The Parachute Panda. But wait, there's more. We've got some great drone footage as well. In this one, the rocket will stay in frame almost the entire flight, heading off the top of the screen just for a brief instance and then rejoining here with the parachute already deployed and gliding gently down for a pretty spectacular view as we've seen from one of the ground shots. And a very excited, a little girl will be recovering it here just in a second. And from this drone view, slightly different angle, also a nice shot. And once the operator locks down, we can see the rocket rejoin from the top of the frame and head back down to our launch site. There is another great viewpoint as well coming up toward the end of the video. You can fast forward if you don't feel like listening to me talk about how we built the rocket, but thanks for listening. Big Bertha. It's a great kit, and after putting it together, I can certainly see why. It goes together super simple. Standard engine mounts. I did decide to use a Kevlar cord for my shock mount. So in this case, you'll see I had to cut an extra notch in the engine mount and attach the Kevlar cord directly to the engine mount itself. Usual sanding of the fins, nicely cut balsa with the laser cutter. Here, the typical fin alignment guide. I won't be using the traditional Estes 3-fold mount. The engine going in, running the cord back through the engine mount is important. Otherwise, you're going to get it stuck up in there somehow. But goes in fairly simple. Here, it's all drying with the Kevlar cord hanging out the back, because once we tie the elastic shock cord to it, we'll feed that back up through the rocket here, so it's just short of the end. That way, the sharper Kevlar doesn't zipper the body of the rocket. The fins all sanded up. I will make a slight mistake with those, but gluing on, typically let it dry. Here's a launch lug. I like to use a standoff so that the launch lug doesn't drag against the body of the rocket, and we'll see that come up later. But all in all, this kit goes really well together, just pretty much straight out of the box. Here's the hero shot coming up, and just a great little model kit.
Yes! Yes!
Hi, and welcome to the RCN Rocket Chief. When my brothers and I and my sister, when we were kids launching model rockets, we all had our favorite piece, and my sister's favorite part was the colorful parachutes and the recovery part. So I decided that maybe I would try to go one up on the parachutes and have 2 come out of a model rocket, but in naval chief fashion, I decided to do it the Navy way, which is a right way, but not necessarily the easiest way. So we're going to use the dualist here for this experiment, but we're going to have 2 parachutes come out, but one at the midpoint and one through the upper part and the traditional part. A bit of a challenge because, of course, when the rocket fires its ejection charge, it wants to just push everything up here. I think I may have solved the problem. Let's go see with the test flight.
One launch. Oh, model flies nice and straight. Wow, that's gratifying at least. Not very high. Hard to say if we've got the deployment. There is definitely a shootout. That's good. No, it's just the one. And we can kind of see the other one dragging. So obviously we're going to be trying this again. Let's walk over. Yep, take a look. It's close, but not quite.
Well, that was pretty close. Let's show you exactly what I'm trying to make happen, and maybe we can come up with a slightly better way to execute it. So of course the idea is that the ejection charge comes up through the body tube, and I want to prevent this chute, the drogue chute, from being pushed up farther into the body tube, which some testing here revealed that's always going to happen if you do that. So what I did was create a baffle at the midpoint. You can see the holes and whatnot there, and the idea is that that just takes away the hot ejection pieces. It also, of course, prevents this little drogue chute from being pushed up further in the body tube, and it's got a nice long Kevlar lead, which allows the parachute to be pulled completely from the body tube. And of course, all of this Kevlar tube also, to some degree, acts as wadding to protect the chute. I also wrap it in one sheet of wadding on its own. Once, of course, it's then in the heading down position, whatever ejection gas is actually made it through that will help push the nose cone off. It's also not on very tight. And then that is with the 12-inch chute, which falls out nicely, and hopefully the speed of descent allows the chute to unfurl. So let's do our second test flight with the C and see how that goes.
The Duelist in our ongoing attempt to make 2 chutes with a drogue and a main without electronics. This time on a C65 in an attempt to get a little more oomph, and maybe it'll work out for us. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch. Nice straight flight. Model flies great. Way up there. I see at least one, probably both chutes. Looks like we got it. Perfect. Nice shot. It just needed a little more oomph, and we get both chutes out, both deployed. Nice slow recovery. Awesome. Very happy with that. This is the Mini A heli. It comes down on the helicopter recovery. Once the there you go. Once the ejection charge fires, it burns off this piece of thread here, and the helicopter wings pop out, and then it spins on its way back. It is expected to sail off for quite a long time, so hopefully we got it back. Again, the winds are still light and variable. Temperature is still in the high 20s. We have a light. I can see I feel like the wind's going that way. We're all good. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch.
Holy crap.
Straight up, straight shot. There it goes. I can see all 3 blades deploying. Here it comes down. Oh, nice shot. That's drifting down range nicely. I think we're going to get it right back within the confines of the field. Nice recovery, perfect shot. Nice.
So building the Mini A heli is not particularly easy. It's a fairly sophisticated kit. You end up chopping up the body tube into 3 pieces, as you can see here. And there are a wide variety of balsa and cardboard parts, all nicely laser cut, but there is some sophisticated techniques required, especially a little later on when we get to the hinges. Here we're just building a pretty standard mini rocket with engine and mounts and fins and all the usual stuff. It's once we get to the helicopter recovery piece that things get a little more difficult. As we can see here, again, pretty standard rocket for the first part of it, once you've got the pieces chopped up into the required sizes. Here we're going to build put the body spacer in to be able to attach the top part so that the rocket ends up being fairly long. And here are the hinge pieces and the required alignment tools. The hinges themselves are pretty sophisticated to put together. You've got to be very careful to get them lined up correctly. They do provide dowel to help with that, which also ends up being part of the hinges a little later on. Also, you can see that they're fairly small because, of course, this is a mini rocket. You end up cutting more holes in the body tube, which took me a while to convince myself that that's the way it is, but it is, for venting the exhaust gases on the recovery charge. Then you make up the heli piece. You end up scoring the balsa and snapping it, at which point I realized that I'm not going to be going for long distance recovery on this one. I just want it to work correctly, so I ended up painting it while I was building it because I wasn't sure that when to paint it, and they kind of recommend you don't because they're expecting you to want it to stay up for several minutes. There are strengtheners here for the helicopter blades, and then the building of the hinges, as you can see here, and of course that requires that piece of dowel to go in for the hinges to be able to snap up. They use elastic bands for that, which come along a little later. But a nice kit, a nice sophisticated build, not recommended for beginners. Please like and subscribe and help an old sailor out. Thanks a lot.